Hi. I always forget about this part when I'm setting up the camera, so that's I'm always trying to squeeze myself in. This is Anya Divine here. It's probably quite close to 8 o'clock in the evening on a Monday evening, and Maisie's had a couple of walks now today, so there's no excuse for this carry on. Oh, I took off the mic so you probably can't hear me, sorry. Maybe I'll just start that again. Sorry, gosh. Hello. It's almost 8 o'clock Monday evening. Lily finishes training at 8:30, so I'm assuming it's almost 8. It might be 7:30 actually. I'm being dramatic. Anyway, point is, I thought, what could I do? I was sitting watching them training, and I thought, look, Anya, you didn't plan for this now. And you know, when you don't plan for stuff, you start working on. I was starting to scroll through things on my phone and stuff, and I thought, go way home now. And then on my way home, I decided I would do a painting. I'd been looking at this lovely. I picked some daisies. I was cutting the grass the other day, and there was a lovely little bunch of there was a few bunches of daisies, and I kind of caught around a couple of them, and then I picked some because yeah, there were quite a few in the garden, and I picked them before cutting the rest, or cutting the grass. And then there's also these buttercups are flowering mad in the garden as well, so I picked them and put them into this vase, and been looking at them all week. I just got some fresh buttercups because actually I've been sitting looking at them that long that they were withered, but the daisies are still alive and thriving. Anyway, that's what I thought. A simple thing. I was thinking of going and buying some flowers and everything. I thought, no, go way home now and just put that cup in front of you and just see what happens. And then I found this paper that I was using as a backdrop for another painting, and so it kind of reminded me of something of the vigor and flourishing of springtime, summertime now, I suppose. But you know, that feeling of like the spring green. I keep wanting to hark back to spring, don't I? The summer green, and the fullness of summer is coming now. So anyway, there we have it. So this is my stimulus today, and I've got some. I had a kind of an idea of how I might start, which is maybe a bit controversial, given that I was delighted by the brightness of the flowers and the lively, you know, the lovely yellow-green background here. But you know, sometimes it's in the contrast, isn't it, that things really sing out. So I'm going to put in the dark of the piano behind as a way in. And I will keep the lightness at the top because it is a bit brighter even in the background as well. It's just the bit underneath the keys of the piano that's especially dark, and I like the contrast between that and the light of the daisies and everything. So there we have it. That's the reason I'm doing that. Let's see how it goes. Don't know, I might regret it. I don't think I'll regret it, but I might do something different. Than, you know, as usual, things might not transpire as I expect them to. Which I think is maybe, I could maybe call it my the way that my practice in general goes, is to kind of let things unfold after injecting something, to just see then if I'll continue down that route. I need to buy more kitchen paper. If I'll continue down that route, or if I'll go in a totally different direction altogether. Anyway, the two things I had decided upon were the dark of the background, and I had decided that this B&Q wallpaper would be a good choice for that little cup that they're sitting in. Let's see. I feel like I want more space down here now. But what if I just push the space the flowers will occupy up a little bit. And I might put in a little bit more of the dark, actually, higher up. I forgot that originally I was going to put a line of masking tape there so that I would be able to explain the piano, but something tells me that's not necessary, and something's telling me that it is necessary to get my hands into the glue, which really it isn't on yet. There it is, done now. You see, I want to still go down below the edge of the table with this. I'm not sure exactly why that's happening now, but I'm gonna just go with it. I'll just go with it. There we are. It's not so much giving me the feeling of that cup. I don't know why. It was when I had it separate, but maybe this is better. Maybe this is a better choice. It's not so dominant a thing, because it's quite a delicate cup, that one. You know, it's not a major statement, is it? It's got an orange plant on it and some nice vigorous leaves flailing about. So that's what I'm going with in the end. Maybe that one will live to fight another day. It's quite nice, like, isn't it? Anyway, I'm just gonna... I was thinking I could use it while it has the glue on it, but that's just taking the whole kind of recycling too far altogether. The glue can dry and I can put on another layer of glue if I want to use it. That's not exactly recycling, but you know what it is. Kind of, you know, reusing something. Whatever it is. Okay, right. What am I doing? I was forgetting that this is also part of the paper. So here we have daisies. I think I'll create the circle of the top of that. Oh no, honestly, let me see. Maybe the circle could be here. Yeah, here. In which case I might lift off a little bit of this if I still can. Yeah, and then I could always use this to paint in around the edge of where the daisies will be and in between the leaves there. And here too. So really I'm explaining the edge of the cup for myself a little bit at least. Alright, now what would I do for the daisies? I think I would use stencil maybe. It's not exactly what I want. Let's see what else is here. I've got this kind of Christmassy stencil. I think those would be quite good for the daisies, but I need centers for the daisies first, so I'll put some dots of yellow down first, I think. And that yellow looks to me to be a warm cadmium yellow. Cadmium yellow rather than, oh dear, I can't open my paint. Cadmium rather than lemon yellow. Come on. It's probably easier to get it out of this one. I think I need a trip to Pennycoo Press, which is an art material shop near me. I keep meaning to support them rather than buying online all the time. So that's what I'm going to do now tomorrow. You heard it here first. I'm going to get myself some new paper and new materials. So this is cadmium yellow for the center of the daisies. So if this is the back of the mug, then the center of the daisies will be kind of there-ish. Something like that. There's a bit more than there are in real life, but I think it's okay. And then there's a panel of green. Panel of green that explains the inside of the... What does it explain the inside of? The little jar within which the flowers are contained. I'm looking for green. I know I could do this beforehand, but you'd miss the rustle of the bag, wouldn't you? Maybe not. Right. What I could do beforehand, I'm thinking, is I could have chosen the colours, but actually I couldn't really, because it's always a bit of a, you know, it's always a bit of a surprise even to myself what I'm going to do, how I'm going to tackle things. Sometimes I think I won't use paint at all hardly, and then I end up using it more than anything else. This is one of those instances, I think. Well, so far. The main thing I would say is not to kind of nail your colours to the mast at any point, really. That's desperate, isn't it? I'm sure I've said to myself the exact opposite other times. But it feels to me that today it's a good idea to just let there be a bit of play around it. Okay, so there's something of a, and while I've got that colour on the brush now, it is the colour of the background, but the background of course is covered in Payne's grey. Whose great idea was that? So I'm going to lift off the area where the leaf is best I can before trying to paint it on then with the sap green colour I've just squeezed out. Yeah, so you can see why a clean paper towel would be handy. Yay, found some. Not exactly clean, but cleaner. Last thing really that I want when it's summer flowers in question is murkiness. Like, it needs the brightness of the flower is glorious, and I love the fact that it can be, you can really sing out from the white. Alright, so let's see now about these green buttercup leaves. There's one. There's another one there. There's a third one kind of extending up there too. And then behind the flowers, those leaves are just a little bit darker. I can always collage on some anyway if I want them to be standing out a bit more than they are from the background. For now I think that's okay. And I think I will put more Payne's grey on there because I want the white stencil, the white paint through the stencil to be seen over the white petals of the daisy to be clear over the background and through the stencil, I think is how I'll describe them. I think anyway, let's see, I think I'm going to put some dark colour there as well so that we know that this is inside of the mug. That's not really a great colour for inside the mug. It's okay, like, I think I need something down either side. I hope you're not wobbling every time I move now. Yeah, I want something down either side. To be honest, I'm thinking oil pastel maybe, but can't be bothered going over there now and trying to take off the mic and get the oil pastels out. So I'll just see if I can do what I want with the white paint mixed in with the grey. I wanted to give a colour that's quite good to describe the inside of the cup on either side of the glass jar that contains the flowers. That's alright. And maybe even I could do this. Why have I gone away over there with the edge of it? So I know what I can do. Put my masking tape down here and I'll paint the edge, background edge in to meet that there. As far as the tabletop anyway. I'm sure I suppose I could do that so that the tabletop isn't getting adulterated by the black shadow. It's a cool word, isn't it? Probably not in the right context. Adulterated, but kind of like it, so I'm using it. Right. Yeah, so I decided to shift things, obviously. Anyway, that's alright. And that would be the grey of the table. And then the bottom of the cup. I've given myself a hard enough job, haven't I? The way that I've stuck on that for the cup. It's kind of a lost and found, a floundering. But you know what? Now floundering is not a bad idea. It keeps you on your toes, I find. So maybe it's no harm that I've let myself flounder a little bit. And it might be an opportunity then to use some of this as well, because I did quite like that wallpaper with the lizard. The lizard is getting edited out almost, but he's there a little bit at the top, see? Yeah, I don't know if that's working or not, but it's there now anyway. I'll leave it for a minute. And then I can carry on with my Payne's grey as a way of, geez, I'm really labouring, aren't I? It's like creating the backdrop over which the flowers are going to be lovely and bright, because it's like I'm bringing loads of darkness in here. But as I say now, as Matt Haig says in his book, Reasons to Stay Alive, I think, he said the dark parts, for example, in a river, you know, the dark shadows accentuate the lights. So hopefully this is what's going to happen here, that we're going to be accentuating light. Now, I want the curve of the cup explained with that light. So I'm just going to use a curve I found here and see how I get on with it if I try and manhandle on some light for the edge. Funny, this is a funny process, this whole thing, but sure, it's new anyway. It's new, I suppose, is the thing. I feel like that's a good thing. Right, how are we getting on? Kind of finding the way into it. Yeah, so I'm going to let it be a bit more murky here. Because I think that would be a better backdrop for the daisies then, so that they really read as being bright. And of course we've got these fantastic buttercups belting out and up and out and over. And I think the torn paper represents them fairly well. There's a nice buttercup colour there. It's a bit dark, but I still think it's quite nice because of it being so flower looking. I think it might work for the shadow side of that one there. Yeah, let's stick that on there and see how we go with that. Where am I putting it now? On top of the blue. Okay, that can go there. Better watch my time, because sometimes, you know, the time runs away with me. No, I hear you say. Gosh, I'm annoying myself there now, sorry. Right. Yeah, but you do know that I sometimes, you know, if you've watched me before, my concept of time isn't always very clear, like when I get down to this stuff. It feels a bit like a suspension of normal time, and you just carry on, and then before I know it, I'm late for the pickup. And there's that one there. Okay. I think that's more of a cadmium yellow. And she's off. I don't know why Maisie barks sometimes out the back. It's maybe when children are passing or something. So these now are the dancing buttercups. I'm aiming to try and find something that describes them as they, there's that word again, as they thrust upwards from the vase. Right. I'm half wondering about putting that there. We'll see. If the centre of the daisies isn't satisfying enough, I can always use collage to describe them. Yeah. And that'll be grey tabletop. You know, I think I could find something to describe that tabletop. Some kind of muted patterned paper. I'm just looking in my bag here. I've got a whole load of stuff as usual in here. And I think in order to make the table feel like it's overlapped by the vase, I want to bring it across there. Just going to check my time. Oh God, I don't know how to do that. I think surely it's not 8:30 yet. I mean, you know, something like that even. Or that one. going to take a risk and put this on without much thought. Just because it fits and it's not unlike the colour of the tablecloth. Right, so let me see now. Those daisies. An awful lot of this lark is about keeping the faith, isn't it? And trusting that something will work if we keep at it. Now, what's that going to look like? It does look a bit like a daisy from your vantage point anyway. You wouldn't want to see it from here, but from up there it looks okay. Let's see. I think if I, as I say, keep the faith and just carry on with them, that they'll have a feeling of a bunch of daisies about them. So this is titanium white acrylic, and this is a stencil. Actually, a friend of mine left at a workshop. She said that she's given it to me now as a gift, so thanks, Susanna, if you're watching. It's this Christmassy one, but I think it works for the daisies. These daisies aren't all that white now, but I think the thinner paint makes them read as though they're in the shadows a bit anyway. There's one facing down the way there, and then there's a lovely bright one facing out the way, so it's just going to need petals going in that direction rather than the full circle of petals. Right. Don't know why I put that there. Well, I wanted something yellow there, but I think it's too much. So I lift off some of that yellow now. And I leave those flowers for the moment. I'm kind of stuck. I don't know what to do with the slight stuckness about me. Maybe I could put some green collage on. What other options have I got other than collage? Because I'm probably milking that a bit too much, aren't I? I think I could use the Payne's Grey again to further delineate the edge of the cup, which looks a little bit crude to me so far. It is a cup, I think, with a handle gone off it. I forget where I got that. It might have been from my mother, you know. Anyway, it's a lovely pattern. Yeah, an orange tree. I remember getting an orange tree plant from IKEA one time, and I painted it, and it was a good painting, and it was a great experience. I loved painting the little orange. It was a miniature orange. I might get one of them again. Just seeing them on the pattern here is kind of pleasing. Right, so that's that. And I think I could do with explaining the edge of the cup a bit more clearly on the other side too. Just to clarify this side in the same way as I did the other. Put the masking tape over the B&Q wallpaper. I suppose I might need to then use a bit of the tabletop colour again, or something similar enough to it. What do you think? Do I need it there or not now? Like, it was about this. The thing was about this, but I don't know what I'm doing with this. It's the push and pull of the green over the black, and then the yellow. Like, I wanted the yellow to really be the thing that stands out. And I don't really want to bring all the dark up there, do I? I don't want to bring the same level of darkness up there anyway. I suppose I could maybe use a dark brown for behind. Let me try this one. What's this called now? It's burnt umber. It might allow me to, it'll either kill it or it'll enhance the brightness of the flowers. I don't know. Here, I'll do it anyway, sure. What's there to lose? It's only a picture. Right, so I'm painting the edge up to meet the brightness of the buttercup there. Did I say sunflower? I probably did. I look back sometimes over my videos and I've said totally the wrong name and never noticed it at the time. It must be kind of slightly irritating to people watching it. So there's that one, and then there's another petal here which I want to outline. I mean, I'm not going to maybe get rid of, we'll see. I'm not sure. I'm just talking now. I don't need to talk. I could let myself try it before making an assumption about how it's working. Okay. No harm to get a bit of life in there anyway. Right, and over here. It's actually got kind of a reddish hint to it. It's like mahogany colour of the piano. Now I know this isn't exactly it, but it's a bit closer, I think, to what I'm seeing behind that buttercup there. And it's just a little bud of a buttercup. And then there's the thin stem, which I'm pleased about. I want to try and explain the fragility of the stem as well, and the strength of it standing out in all that darkness there, you know. I suppose I could do something with that brown background. Just fling on a bit of water or something. Let that merge down there some way. Oh, what are we doing now? Yes, so I've outlined that one a bit. And why don't I outline the stem on that side too? Don't overlap by mistake. There we have it. Slightly distracted by not knowing what time it is. I'll give myself another 5 minutes, how about that? And then if there's more time, I can come back and do a second, do part 2. And even I could do a part 2 after I pick Lily up, sure, or tomorrow. Lily was 16 on Saturday, and you know what? She played a game, and it was my first time seeing them win. And Lily scored 2 goals. Imagine what a birthday gift that was. And it was so nice to see them jubilant, you know. And the other team weren't dejected or anything. It was a very sound game. I felt it was really good. And they needed a win, you know. It was so nice to see them working so beautifully together. Like, there was great harmony in how they passed the ball to one another, and it's exciting to watch. I can see how much she's improved as well. Like, the training pays off. And very good coaching. They've got a great coach. Right, so I'm ending up. I hope I'm not trigger happy with this dark now. I'm going to leave that blue there. I want to just describe the dark on each side of the stem. So I said I'd give myself 5 more minutes, and I have no idea how I'm going to decide how long 5 minutes is, because it's not saying it on the screen. It's yeah, I can't see the actual time, only the minutes passing. So I can tell, yeah. Oh, it's 3 minutes, that's what I'll do. This is almost half an hour long already, like, so that's long for anyone to be listening to me, I would say. No, I can turn it that way. There's something about this gap here that's not very pleasing, but I don't want to be filling it all in beginning to end, so I'm just going to use a big brush and maybe let the water run a little bit that way. Now what's going to happen now? Yeah, I want to put a bit of a brighter colour on there for that one that I put the paint over. Make that brighter again there. On the light side anyway. If my fingers weren't so dirty, you know, it'd be easier to make it bright, but anyway, the brightness is coming from there. And then there are things happening with the leaves that I could be capturing. I don't know how I'm going to do them. I think I maybe put it flat and stick on some alcohol ink over those greens and just see what happens while I'm away. So, and then I come back and I'll show you what happened. You see, I've got a green, it's really yellowy green alcohol ink, And I think if I put this flat on the table, you know, it's quite wet there, so I might even just sprinkle some of the green onto the bit that's wet. The alcohol. See what it does, isn't it lovely? And I want to wet some other parts of it so that that same effect is possible where the leaves are. So I'll just wet it first because the water is the thing that it reacts with to make that lovely green colour. Probably be better if there was green underneath already, or like there, if it displaced the water enough to get back to the white paper. But that's what I've got now, is that, so I think I probably have another few minutes, alright, because when I think about it, I left the pitch at 7:15, so it mustn't have been 8 o'clock before I painted. It might have been 7:45 and then 8:15, so I might have another 5 minutes. So, right, what'll we do? Something tells me that a line here would be helpful. Some clarity up there. Some kind of clarity. And I think the brown is the colour that I want really there, rather than the Payne's grey. I think I'll put it below the line. It's funny, you know, I'm hardly thinking through these decisions, but I suppose at least making some decision, it seems to push things in a direction. If I don't know what to do, at least if I do something. In some situations that's a good idea, you know. Other times it's not a good idea to soldier on regardless. But yeah, it takes discernment, I suppose. Let's see. Yeah, I feel like I want to go back to the light colour above there now. I'm going to just clean off the dark that's there. Luckily this is an old blanket that's on the table now. It's not a really precious tablecloth or anything, in case you were worried for it. You know, I just wanted there to be a clean-ish lighter area above. But my water isn't very clean and I don't want to go getting more water. So maybe what I'll do is I'll just put some of the white paint on there. See how that works out for us. And I think I'll get you know, an edge like this, so that I can just mask off the bits that I want to stay dark. I'll give another edge now. A bit of greenery there now would be good, wouldn't it? Yes, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to play with the idea of the alcohol ink over the sap green, maybe even over some white and then sap green, because I want this leaf here. Yeah. To really stand out against the background, you know. And even some of that one too. I'm just putting on some white paint and holding the brush very lightly so that it's just a thin layer of white that's being applied here. And when I hold the brush lightly and parallel to the paper, it allows it to just lay on. So I'm not painting it on so much as just laying it on. It's on here and I'm laying it on like a palette knife would almost. Okay. And the idea I had there was that I could put some either water on it now and put alcohol ink over that, or put some sap green paint on first. I think I'll put the sap green paint on first. I probably could do with clean water now, like. But I also need to watch my time. So I just put it on like that instead of putting it into the water. And I will go and get some clean water just now. Bear with me. I just had a look at the time there, and I've got about 5 minutes before I need to leave. So here's my clean water. May as well get a clean brush while I'm at it, rather than try and clean those ones up. So it's just really to put some water on there so that I can then splash on some of this alcohol ink and see what happens. Just playing now, really. But there's something in the freshness of the alcohol ink that gives me a feeling for summer, if not for these exact flowers, you know. Gosh, it's very bright, isn't it? We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Just flinging dirty water at it now. A last ditch attempt. I suppose I could put something down there for the table as well, couldn't I? That extends down a little bit lower on this side. That's what I want to do. Let's see what I've got in the bag. My magic collage bag. I don't know if you can see there. I think really it's probably something fairly muted. That's a nice one, isn't it? I'll leave that. I'll leave that one. I don't know what to do. I've got too much choice. I think like that with a little gap, unless something else really screams at me before I head off. So you could drive yourself demented, isn't it? Look, I'm just going to do that. Just make a decision. Or leave it. I could just leave it, couldn't I? I could actually just leave it. I wonder if I get a nice effect now if I wipe away the Try to wipe away some of these drops that are there. You know, you can get a nice effect with the acrylic. Oh yeah, see? I love those sparkles of brightness that emerge from nowhere. And there, I could try my Caribbean blue. Now this is a bit of a statement, so hope for the best. It's exciting, isn't it? I love the Caribbean blue. That's acrylic ink as well. No, it's not. It's alcohol ink. That's what I meant to say. I wonder will I try a splash of it up here. Too late, I've done it. Right, I'm going to go now to football, and when I come back I'll assess the damage and see what to do next, if anything. I might decide to leave it there. I'll just show you it a bit closer up if I can. There, it's kind of exciting. It was fun anyway. Thanks for joining me. Thank you for joining me. See you later. Bye.